Hello, my name is Steven Salaka, the CTO from Simply Granted. Today, I'm going to show you how simple and easy it is to apply for a grant with the Simply Granted platform. This series of videos will introduce you to the platform and will serve as a useful tutorial on how to best use the platform. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below or contact us directly through our website at www.simplygranted.com. Let's begin. How many grants that you have expiring today? This is a good reminder to let you know that you might have some applications that you've got to finish up. Our third metrics over here tells you how many grant application packages you have in progress, letting you know how much work you have left to complete. And our final metric over here shows you how many grants which will be expiring within the next 7 days, letting you know that you might have a busy week ahead. Looking at these numbers here, we only have one in progress and one's expiring soon, so not going to be too hard for us to get through that. At the top right corner of the screen, you can use this link to sign out of your account. If we click over here, we can see a little Simply Granted icon. We can see who's logged in. You have your email address over here. And you see a little indicator showing you whether you've been subscribed or not. The first time that you sign up for the account, you're going to get 30 days of free access to the site. This way you can test it out, see if this platform is for you. After that 30 days is up, you're going to need to go ahead and subscribe in order to continue access. But we think that our price points are pretty competitive, and with the features that we have on the site, it's pretty compelling for people to subscribe. If you want to sign out, you can go over ahead and sign out over here. Let's go ahead and look at the links down the side. The first link over here is our dashboard. This button basically takes us back to the first page that we're already on. Our next button over here, our document management and manage document. This screen is for power users. The screen allows you to see any of the documents in any of the submission packages that you have created. You can copy and move files around here, give you a quick and easy interface to all of the files that you have within the system. The first time that you access it, it may ask you for additional permissions to allow you to access and view your Google Drive documents. As you can see, we've got our main root directory here, Simply Granted, and all of the packages that we've created, our application packages, any files that we've had, all show up here. So we can delete files, we can create files, we can move files around. So there's a lot of things that we can do right from this location. Very handy for, again, the power users. On our next screen here, we're going to take a look at our profile. And our profile is where we store most of our pertinent information. So over here, profile, under our basic information, we've got all of our basic contact information. So your first name, your last name, male, female, or others, your date of birth, street, city, country, state, zip code. Again, all of these fields are optional. You can feel free to enter the data as much as you want or leave the data out. What happens is as you're going through and you're applying for packages, a lot of the organizations require some of this information. So entering this information in here allows you to pre-populate a lot of the applications without having to, type things out many times. Over here on the next screen is your contact detail page. Because many of you will probably be accessing this from an organization, you're probably going to have multiple ways of being contacted. So you might have multiple email addresses or multiple telephone numbers, and you can go ahead and add multiple email addresses and telephone numbers here. The next tab basically tells you about our subscription plan. You can take a look at our different subscription plan options. If you just need access for a day, you can sign up for a day. Our standard package, $29.95, gives you access for 30 days. Very simple. It goes through PayPal. Click on the subscribe button, takes you through the PayPal subscription process, and then it'll add 30 days to your subscription plan. Your subscription history will allow you to view all of your subscription history within the platform. So you can see the bills that you've had, the charges that you've paid, and this is a good thing to keep for your record, so when it comes time to do your taxes, you can report this as an additional expense. Over here, you have the option to change your password. This allows you to change your password if you've logged in using an email address and password. And finally, you can go ahead and link and unlink your Facebook account and your Google account. These are very important because let's say you log in with one account, your company account, and all of your documents and drives are stored in a secondary company account. And this way you can link or unlink your social media accounts. Fairly straightforward. Next, we come to our package, or our profile, organizational info. Organizational info is used primarily to populate information within the system to help you search for grants automatically. So what you'll do is you'll put your organization name, your mission statement about the organization, the size of your organization, assets, and then more importantly, you need to classify your nonprofit organization based on these 6 well-known classification taxonomies. Subjects, basically what sort of areas of interest that your nonprofit organization follows through. The organizational type. What type of organization is it? Is it a social enterprise? Is it schools, multiple purpose centers? The strategy. What is your strategy within your organization? Is it technical assistance? Is it seed money? Is it mergers? Lots of different strategies. Transaction types. Do you do matching grants? Are you doing pro bono programs? The population that you service. Are you focused on children and youth, or are you focused on widows and widowers? So whatever your population that your nonprofit organization services, you want to add this here. And then finally, your regional focus. What regions of the country or the world does your nonprofit focus on? And within here, you can select multiple categories. So for example, maybe you're dealing with museums, history museums, and natural history museums as your subject areas. So you can add those in at any given time. Once you're done, you click the update info and it will update your profile. The reason why we want this information is when we go to search for a grant in our grant search package, this will allow us to easily target and find grants that match your organization. Other information here, your organizational principles, like for example, your organizational CEO, the president, all of the different organization structure. You want to add this in here because later on when you're applying, you have this information handy at your fingertips. And finally, again, you can add additional contact information specifically for your organization, whereas your basic information is about you, the user of the system. The contact details on the organizational page are for your information about your organization. Next, we come to our grant search, and this is the bread and butter of the system. And basically, this is the heart and soul of what we're doing here. Click on the Search Grant button, and it will bring up the search interface. So from here, you've got lots of options to choose from in terms of searching for a grant. If you know a particular title of the grant that you're looking for, somebody recommended a particular grant to apply for, you can search by title. You can search by grant amount. How much does the foundation give out every year? You can see that and search by that. The date range. Maybe you're looking for a grant that you're applying for way in the future, 6 months out or a year out. You can narrow down the date range of when it expires. You can also search by status, and the status will allow you to see, all right, which ones of these grants are active, which ones are expired, or you want to see everything. And the reason why we give you this choice is sometimes you applied for a grant last year and you want to review the information about that grant maker. So you can come in here, you can search the grant and get that information again. Next is probably the second most important part of the system is the submission with the grant a manual submission or an automatic submission? And there's a fine difference here. With a manual submission package, what this means is there's no electronic way to submit your package to the organization. It means you're going to have to print out the information and ship it off to the organization. Automatic, on the other hand, means that the system will automatically apply for the grant electronically for you. So if you're looking for easy grants to apply for, maybe you want to select automatic. But not all grants and not all grant organizations have automatic systems. So we have the manual grants in there as well. You may know the organizational name. Enter that to search. And then finally, we come down to those 6 taxonomy types that we talked about earlier. So for example, maybe you want to find all grants and grant organizations that focus on museums, or you want to look at grants that are all about arts and culture, or specifically focus on children and youth. So you can search through the grants with a lot of these different metrics. Taking a look down here at the results, what you'll find is a pretty easy, quick overview of the information. The first icon over here tells you if the grant is a manual grant or an automatic grant. The little house icon over here tells you that it's a manual grant, meaning that you're going to have to mail it off to a house address. If there's a little email icon, it's going to show you that this is an automatic grant that you can go ahead and apply for electronically through the system. It'll tell you the name of the grant. It'll tell you the amount, and this amount here is the total amount of grants that the organization has written within the past year. So for the larger grants, for the organizations that have lots and lots of resources, these might be a good place to start looking for. It has a list for the application deadline to tell you how far out you need to apply. If there's a web page for the site, it's listed here, and whether the grant is active or expired, so you can tell the status. To get more detail about the grant, you can click on the name, and that will bring you into the more information page. You'll see all of the taxonomies that the grant focuses on, the arts and culture, children and community for this particular grant. It tells you all about the organizational details. It tells you about if the grant is active or not. It tells you the target deadline. And then down below, what you're going to see is any grant application packages that you've created for this specific grant. You'll be able to see that. Maybe you want to apply for multiple grants from the same organization. A lot of nonprofit organizations have multiple projects that they're working on, and they need to write a grant for each of these individual projects. So you can take a look and you can see all the different grants that you have within the platform here. This video is the final video in the Simply Granted tutorial series. In this video, we're going to show you how to go from scratch to applying to your first grant in a few very simple steps. First note, because we rely heavily on Google for application, you're going to be prompted to log into your Google Drive at some point during this process. Don't panic, simply click on Allow and continue. So let's go ahead and get started. After login to the platform, we have this nice button over here that says Create New Grant Application. And this is going to take us to the Grant Application Wizard walkthrough. We click on this button, and it shows us the tutorial video on how to walk through and apply for the grant. Gives you some information on how to apply for the grant. Once you've watched this, once you understand how this process works, click on step 1, which is search. The first thing that you need to do for any of these grant application packages is you need to select the grant organization that you're going to be writing the grant for. We've got a very intuitive interface here, so you can select and weed out the ones that you want to apply for. Let's go ahead and get started with this dashboard. Across the top when you first log in, these are icons indicating the system status. This first one over here shows you how many grants which have been added in the system within the past 24 hours. Every day that you log in, you come in, you're going to see that the grants are increasing. The second metric over here